All right. Good morning, everyone. It is 8:50 in the morning of October the 15th, 2021, and this is my trading strategy session for the day. So, the first thing up here, we have SNOA. It's popping up today on some pretty decent news. It just got, oh, here we go. Yeah, it is here. Brief. SNOA Microsafe Group say NanoSign disinfectant and sanitizer approved by the Australia TGA. So I had to do a little bit of research. I don't know what the Australia TGA is. So let me pull it up here real quick. The Therapeutic Goods Administration is part of the Australian Government Department of Health and is responsible for regulating therapeutic goods, including prescription medicines, vaccines, sunscreens, vitamins and minerals, medical devices, blood, and blood products. So, okay, it's a disinfectant and it's been approved. So SNOA, this stock, here's the 10 minutes. So you can see it's gapping up this morning. From yesterday's close was around $5.88. And it made a high of $8.08 this morning in the pre-market action. This stock has a really nasty habit of popping up and selling off. Lots of big down red candles. Popped up, sold off. Popped up, sold off. Pardon me. Popped up, sold off. Popped up, sold off. Popped up, sold off. Popped up, sold off. That's a lot of popping up and selling off. That's a lot. That's what since May of 2020, there have been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 instances of SNOA popping up and selling off. Hey, you never know. This time could be different. I doubt it. So it's the number one. It's the best looking gapper. I've got the small cap gapper and the large cap gapper up. The scanner up, and it's the second leading gapper this morning. Actually, as of right now, LMFA just passed it up. LMFA is now the number one leading gapper this morning. For what it's worth, I don't really see this thing doing anything much different than what it's done in its previous 6 instances of popping up, unfortunately. Unless there's some people who are really, really interested in this thing because of the Australian, was that TGA? Yeah, Therapeutic Goods Administration? I don't know. Could be different this time? Probably not. Will there be a trade? I kind of doubt it. I kind of think that this morning, this stock is going to see all the crazy noise. Like this isn't going to trade with respect to momentum rules. There's going to have to be a dip buy on this thing. And, who knows exactly where that level is. I have levels on this thing. I put levels on it this morning. So I doubled yesterday's close and put that as my parameters for a Fibonacci. And in that case, it's really struggling at 743 right here, right? So I don't know if that's going to be the correct Fibonacci or not. And then if it goes according to, I don't know, the last time it popped up from its open here, let's see, what day is this? This is the 28th of September. So it opened at $8.56 from a previous close of, looks like $5.35 maybe. Yeah, maybe $5.35. And according to this Fibonacci, it's made it up past the 61.8. And roughly 734 is the 61.8 Fib. I really don't know. I don't know. Small cap momentum has been such a loser for me for so long now because it doesn't follow. It's very rare now that we get a small cap momentum stock that obeys the small cap momentum rules, which is breaks, a break higher, it dipped down and then break past its previous price. Now, its sellers are all over the breaks. Anytime there's a price break, it gets sold off. I don't know why, but it sucks. And so, like in the past, I'd easily 3 weeks, if I had only traded large caps instead of trading, trying to trade small cap momentum, I don't even know how much money I would have made. It would probably have been significantly more, though. I mean, we're talking like I've been racking up easily, 200 to 300 day, $200 to $300 dollars in losses intraday. Fortunately, I've been able to walk away green a lot, but it's the small cap momentum misbehavior. It doesn't follow the same rules that it used to, and it's really put a damper on my earnings. So SNOA today, I don't know. We'll see. I mean, it's got to be a really clean and obvious setup for me to trade it. It's got to be. Okay, that's SNOA. Same thing with LMFA here. LMFA, I put a Fibonacci. Okay, I put a Fibonacci I doubled the yesterday's closing price to get this Fibonacci. So it's kind of hanging around the 50% level, but there's no news. I'm guessing that there are people just buying this thing up in order for it to hit the scanners. I mean, it's the number one top stock, top small cap on the scanner. Let me look at the headlines again. I mean, I looked at them about 20 minutes ago. The headline is that LMFA is popping up. There's no other. Let's see what it says here. We've got a new one. No, that's it. LMFA Funding America shares soared 47%, recovering from a slump in the previous session. Baloney. It's a pump and dump. I mean, there might be a trade there, but there's. So at least SNOA has decent news. At least they got, the equivalent of an FDA approval in America. I mean, at least it has that. LMFA, no news. It's just popping up from yesterday, from a recovery. It's just recovering. So it's a technical bounce. I don't see anything there to trade. I'd be very surprised. And now watch it run up to $20 today. But whatever. All right. American Aluminum just reported earnings. And so how this one gets traded just kind of depends on the stock. So, and it's going to be pretty much a dip below the open and then a push past the open is a trade. A dip below the 75% level and a push past back above it is a trade. A dip between the 61.8 and the 50% levels is a place to average in if it starts dipping in there. And so, how this thing works exactly, I don't know. Interesting red bar here this morning. It says 829, but that's 830. The volume, I don't know. I don't know why it says 829. It's the 830 bar. Anyway, interesting. It went all the way down to yesterday's close. This morning bar right here went all the way down to yesterday's close and then ran back up. It's kind of like, I don't know how to explain it exactly. It's kind of like morning movement. So American Aluminum, it must have had a good report. And actually, commodities, with inflation the way it is, commodity-related stocks. Oh, I have another Fibonacci on this. Oh, yeah, that's right. Okay, so American Aluminum today, if it gets up to $53.15, I'd expect a fight. I have an alarm on it, so if it breaks above, comes back and retests, and then moves higher, that'll be an entry. But $53.15 roughly is a point of resistance for American Aluminum today. And so I pulled up, it's commodity-based business here, and you can see here in the past 10 months, this thing is just really, past year really, with the commodity cycle, and we're expected to go into a commodity super cycle. You can be bullish. Just I'm looking for a good entry on American aluminum here today, not for an investment, but for a trade. But to come back after earnings and start buying on pullbacks might not be a bad idea, just because we're in an inflationary environment where commodities, the prices on commodities go up in inflationary periods. Here's aluminum. Really not a very active commodity. I mean, you can see here the price action. There's large volume on January 5th. I mean, otherwise, volume really doesn't come into this thing very often. And so the price of aluminum, it doesn't vary very much by the day, And so here's the blue line. The blue line kind of represents the climb in the price of aluminum. It's definitely putting in some highs. I don't see any reason for it to stop. So I think that AA is probably going to be a pretty good place to trade today on the bullish side. It's just where is that place to enter? So I tend to see, stocks open, dip down, and then push past the open, and then keep climbing, or open, push past down the 75% level, push back up past the 75% level, and then keep going, or down into the 61,850 fib. Could be some people taking profits here today, since there's been such a long climb. So a dip down into the 61.8 fib to 50% fib wouldn't surprise me. All right. So then what's after that? Oh, PLD. So PLD is just something I'm kind of watching right now. This morning, if it opened right now, it would open up 3% higher at 139.80. However, there have only been 2,184 shares traded pre-market on PLD. And that's a minuscule amount. Let's see, shares outstanding on this are 760 million shares. So on PLD today, I'd be surprised to see it open and keep running. It just reported earnings, and earnings surprise was 105%. Wow, that's a big upside earnings surprise. That is huge. I'd still be surprised to see it open up and keep running. I imagine there's going to be some pullback. So, but I don't know. I don't know how the stock's going to behave. I imagine on such low volume, there'll be some people selling into the higher price action. But who knows? This thing could open up, take off, and so I'm just going to play it the way I'd play American aluminum. I have got a pretty good idea that American aluminum is going to be bullish today. I wouldn't be surprised to see American aluminum actually take off at the open, just get bought at the open. But I don't know what's going to happen. So if it gets bought at the open, if it just bum rushes and keeps going higher, that's really hard for me to trade because I don't have anything to trade against. PLD, though, I think there's a pretty good chance that PLD sells off a little bit in the morning before some buyers come in. And it ought to be somewhere around, somewhere around the levels, past the open, past the 75% level, or in between the 61.8 and the 50 level fib. All right, broader market here. Let's take a look. SPY. If the SPY opened up right now, it would open up by 0.45% higher than yesterday's close. The VIX is breaking down quite a bit, and now the VIX is getting really close to support level. I mean, this thing is really just taken off to the downside. So I'd love to see the VIX plow into this and just drop through this support level down here at roughly, I'll call it 1595 is what I'll call it. Imagine that it's probably gonna, if it breaks down through there today, I don't know. I mean, will it bounce there, or will it just splash through? So there have been three regions here between, in early June, then late June, and then early August. The VIX came down and found support at this trend line right here, and it's a rising trend line too. Today, if it hits it, I don't know. I don't know. Will it bounce off and for a moment and then crash through? Will it bounce off and just turn around and reverse and go the other direction, or will it just crash through? I don't know. I mean, if I were to guess, like gut feeling, this is just a guess. There's no numbers behind this. There's no statistical analysis behind this. There's, nothing. If I were to guess, I'm guessing it's crashing through. And then coming up and back testing. Let's say, I'm going to say, all right, I'm going to make a prediction on the VIX today. I'm going to draw it in here. So let's see. Let's say we open, rise up a bit, crash through, and then retest. Let's see at my recap. Let's see how I did with my prediction. Bitcoin is on the rise, big time. Its next level to break is going to be the 65,000 mark, right up here. This is what Bitcoin is aiming for right now, and I don't see any reason why it can't make it. It's bullish. Apps is something that I'm working on, averaging into a position on. It did a pretty good job of holding it. It closed. I don't want to say it didn't close on its lows. But it closed on a down note yesterday. So I wouldn't be surprised to see it come under some pressure this morning. It kind of came under some pressure yesterday. Rose up. It did a good job. It closed over 84, which is really what I was looking for. It held that 84 level. I'd like to see it hold 84 again today. We'll see what happens. All right. The dollar. I have a bias on the dollar, and my bias is bearish. That's to be seen. To me, it looks like this is just really short term, but to me, it looks like it's starting to put in a little bit of a bearish pattern. This is only 3 days long, so it's not like a long-term bearish pattern or anything. This is the top of its risk range I have is 94.53. Although I don't like to use exponential moving averages or moving averages for that matter for levels of support, but it is, a graphical representation of price behavior. And so this 93.86, this is the 20-day moving average, simple moving average. It is kind of acting as a little bit of support, it seems. So yeah, and then B&O, I am going to start, if we can close above $22.23, which we're at 22.29, I'm going to start averaging into pullbacks on B&O again. Okay, everybody, that is my morning strategy session. Good luck out there. Keep your risk tight. Click like, share, subscribe, leave a comment, tap the bell, and I will see you at the recap. I am out.